Pope Francis calls on popular movements and organizations to consider a universal base wage for unprotected workers. In a letter on Easter Sunday, the Holy Father encouraged the movements to bring change to global systems and structures that exclude those most suffering. Cardinal Michael Czerny, Undersecretary of the Vatican Office of Migrants and Refugees, joins us now from Rome. Your Eminence, thank you for being with us.
It's a pleasure.
So what motivated Pope Francis to propose this idea of a universal base wage?
He was thinking about so many people who this emergency, this pandemic is making even more vulnerable. And he thought that under these circumstances, it was a time to think more deeply and more long-term about how people could enjoy some of the basic security and dignity that we all associate with having work.
Where do you see the balance between protecting a country's economy and also protecting people's health?
I think that the balance begins with putting the emphasis on health. The economy makes little sense if we're sick and dying. So there's a priority right now on health, and I don't think that that should be balanced off by other considerations, especially considerations that don't meet the needs of the whole population. So I would say health comes first, and the economy, which we have so much skill in arranging and working with, the economy can be adjusted to meet the needs of the people during this time.
Your Eminence, can you talk about how the Church is helping refugees amid this coronavirus pandemic, and what have been some of the challenges?
Well, the challenge, the work goes on as much as is possible. The challenge is that when people are in restricted confinement, like in refugee camps or in other facilities, they're especially vulnerable to the virus. On top of it, if they are unfortunately also excluded within society and don't have access to health care and other basic needs, that makes them very vulnerable too. But I don't think that the virus has been ravaging refugee camps, at least not so far. The concern is the bigger problem is in the developed countries of the north for the moment.
Do you think this pandemic will have a lasting impact on the Church overall?
I think it's going to have a lasting impact on all of us, I think, here on the planet. And so the Church with us will also be affected and will change, is already changing in finding creative ways of accompanying God's people in this time. And I think that's the most important thing for the Church, is to reach out and find ways of being with people so that they don't feel abandoned, that they don't feel isolated. And as the Holy Father said in his letter to the popular movements, that the Church can share the greatest gift that all of us need, which is hope. And this is also the Easter message that Christ brings us. So that's what the Church is busy doing under these very trying circumstances.
Your Eminence, a lot of people are feeling anxiety and fear right now. What would be your message to them during this time?
I would say that there are two things. One is that when one feels fear and anxiety, one of the best antidotes is to think of somebody who is even more afraid or has reason to be even more anxious, and reach out to them in some way. And that helps us to actually do what Christ tells us, which is to reach out to those in need. And we find ourselves not only giving them a hand somehow, but also being healed of our own fears and anxieties. So that's very important. And the other is to join with others in all the opportunities that we have to be together. So to take part, whether especially through electronic means, to be together and to overcome the isolation and the loneliness which we all suffer because of this. But if we reach out to one another, we can help one another to live it. And as I said earlier, the Easter message of life and hope is the message that we need and that the whole world needs. So let's live it and share it to the full.
Wonderful advice. Thank you so much for your insight and joining us today. Cardinal Michael Czerny, Undersecretary of the Vatican's Migrants and Refugees Section. Thank you so much, Your Eminence.
Thank you. Bye-bye. God bless.